Good morning, everyone. It is Monday, the 25th, and we have all survived the weekend and spring break, at least at my house. Thank you, Eris, for doing all the mod things. Good morning, Cynthia and Aaron and Fraudit Redler. I can speak English some days. Fraudit Wrangler, Sean Bird, Amy D. Let's see, Celestial Force. And Eris, thank you for doing all the mod stuff. I don't say thank you enough, but I appreciate it greatly. And let's see here. Jesse McClaverty, happy birthday. I hope you have a wonderful day planned. And Jeff Clark, welcome. Let's see here. Trying to get not used to having people. Janie, welcome. And Peter A. and AC Wildflower and Fedorowski. Good morning, Squid Pro Quo and Debbie W. It is the least Monday of Monday because we have the best news ever. I know that we were worried about, poor Sean King after his well, we were wondering what he was doing after he negotiated hostage transfers. Well, apparently on the first day of Ramadan, Sean King has converted to Islam. So if you had Sean King converting to Islam on the first day of Ramadan 2024, uh, you may put that on your bingo card because who knew? Sean King, a notorious BLM activist and quote unquote Christian pastor for many years, has now converted to Islam on the first night of Ramadan. Don't know how Jesus is going to feel about that one, but you know, it's his life. Gosh, I love it when Sean King is in the news. I mean, it's the best day ever. Thank you, Joe. I felt like doing a little something sparkly. I've got so much. I finally bit the bullet and bought a stand-up desk so I can attempt to walk and stuff. Welcome, Christy Marie. So that should be it's Amazon, so I'm sure it'll be here yesterday, and they'll be in my house assembling it in an hour. Welcome, Twisted Logic and Terry D. Founder and director of the Legacy Institute of Hasim Noor posted on X, one of the best news I've ever heard for Ramadan is brother Sean King accepting Islam. What an amazing man. Welcome to the family. And there you go. I'm not going to say the last part because look, I'm already on enough lists, I'm pretty sure, for just having bought a Bible or something. But King self-identifies as Black and has formerly performed the role of a Christian pastor, utilizing his substantial social media presence. He often issues threats of doxing toward individuals. Well, I'm sure that his conversion will make him pious and wonderful. Oh my gosh. So there you go. Sean King on the first night of Ramadan has become a Muslim. I'm sure we are all happy that, well, we no longer have to claim him. So there you go. Y'all can take him, add one to your team. In the realm of that famous Dave Chappelle, bit that I can't even say on the internet, but uh, you know, we will gracefully allow him to join your camp, y'all. Yes, the most fake and most ridiculous, social justice warrior ever. So, Godspeed and good luck with that. A lifelong Ghostbusters fan tours movie's iconic filming location around NYC in, $125,000 he's painstakingly restored the, uh the Ghostbuster mobile, so there you go. Who you gonna call? This guy, a New Jersey dad spent years and a small fortune to build his own Ghostbusters Echo 1 or Ecto 1 car, the perfect ride to tour the iconic Big Apple locations featured in the original movie. Good morning, Patty Durbin. Uh, Lifelong Ghostbusters fanatic Nikki Ferreira, 38, dreamed of owning Ecto 1 over the years, but his quest for the car started rolling in with an eBay find of a 1959 Cadillac Landau Hearst, which had been stored in California in a garage for nearly 50 years. Honestly, when they sold this car, I don't think they know what they had, the licensed customs broker told the Post during his recent tour in his Ecto One. My wife say, if you want to buy a hearse and make it a Ghostbuster car, do it, Ferreira said. Them were the bad words. She said, go ahead. Now, that is a trick. I'm gonna warn the males out there. Go ahead is sometimes a trick. It means, yeah, test your luck, sweetie, test your luck. Good morning, Lori. I hope you are having a wonderful morning. Hopefully the wife meant that. Ferreira immediately clicked the buy now buttons, shelling out a cool $55,000 for the vintage hearse. He said it still reeked of formaldehyde when it rolled into the driveway of his Essex County home in 2014. All total, he spent about 125,000 on the attention-grabbing vehicle. He then embarked on the ultimate scavenger hunt, contacting scrapyards, garages from California to Toronto across the Midwest in search of hard to find parts. I'm calling junkyards in the Midwest asking, "Do you have this piece? Do you have that piece?" Yeah, again, when your wife says, "Go ahead," um, scary words. I'm just saying from a woman. I would have a guardian ad litem, and I would make sure she signed something that said, "I is okay with this," because otherwise you're gonna be hearing about this forever. That's just how we roll. His quest for a perfectly screen-accurate Ecto One even brought him to Sony's picture studio in Culver City, California, to get a closer look at the original car used for the film, which was displayed on the lot at the time. I watched the movie a gazillion times to piece together the car, but I wanted to get exact measurements for the roof rack, Ferreira said. Armed with a selfie stick and a tape measure, Ferreira snapped pictures of the roofs or of the car roof so that he could accurately reproduce every detail. Good morning, MLS. I was wondering if it was going to be good. So you saw the new Ghostbusters this weekend. I haven't even seen the first new one. And I swear to goodness, I am getting a sweatshirt that says this because this is my new life model motto. I swear to goodness. If I haven't told, Mr. Mo Dilligaff a couple times, I haven't shown him the, video yet, but I need to because he's like, "What?" And I'm like, "Dilligaff." And he was like, what does that mean?" I was like, "You'll figure it out." Using a motley assortment of bits and bobs, including brackets and lights from a 1980 police cruiser and sirens from a 1960s fire engine, Ferreira successfully Frankensteined his Lando into a screen realistic, road ready version of the Ecto 1. He says that his kids, Nikki, 5, and Dominica, 3, think having this car is normal life. Like, oh, everyone has a Ghostbusters car. Ferrer estimates there are a small handful of comparable Ecto 1 replicas out there, but says all of the other owners keep it in a showroom or museum. They really don't take it out like me. The car has appeared at promotional and private events on city tours, and Ferrer says he even uses the car as a daily driver, taking it on errand runs, although he admits it's not the most reliable ride on the road. You're constantly checking fluids, tweaking with the brakes and brake lines. Brake lines, it, ma'am, sir, have you talked to your wife if she's using scissors? I'm just saying. Every time you start it up, you hold your breath a bit. With Ferrera's investment and attention to detail, the car has been appraised at $300,000, he said. Since he put the car to work, taking friends to franchise on spooktacular tours around Manhattan to spotlight some of the movie's best-known filming locations, stops include the New York Public Library, Tavern on the Green, the Holy Trinity Lutheran Church, which the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man famously stepped on in the movie. Of course, no Ghostbusters-themed tour would be complete without a stop at FDNY Hook and Ladder Company 8 in Tribeca, the home of Ghostbusters headquarters in the films. Let's see. Ferrari even keeps the car stocked with essential Ghostbusters equipment like proton packs and ghost traps for fans to pose with it outside the firehouse. A private tour in Ferrari's Ecto 1 runs $850 for two people plus $100 per extra guest, or $275 per guest for a public tour where riders are paired with other people. Well, there you go. You can meet strange people and go in a car that might not start. That's see, I my husband would love this, and all I can see is, "Oh, strange people in a car that doesn't work. Good idea." All of them dressed up as Ghostbusters. This sounds like hell. What are you doing to me? Now, if it was a Sailor Moon one, I'd be dragging him all over, so, you know. Oh, interesting. Fisher of Men, thank you for teaching me all the new things. Oh, I am so sorry, Amy. I hope that you get some relief. Oh, goodness. And then, hello, atheist. I hope you get some relief, get some rest. You can always be on the replay crew. Take care of yourself first. It is cheaper than a cab, maybe. I don't know. I haven't gone to New York. Ferreira says he has an understanding with the Ghostbusters rights holder, Sony Pictures, that enables him to run his business without fear of copyright suit. Uh, where did we get the hat or the Ghostbusters thing? The hat is from Walmart. They're selling these, I think for $1. They're trying to get rid of winter stuff. Now getting a car, I have no idea. He even did a promotion with the company for the last, release in the series, Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire, in exchange for red carpet tickets to the film's premiere for his mechanic and promoter. Okay, and Debbie W. gifted 5 memberships, and those went to Pernella, Fisher of Men, Atheist Ant, Amy D. I hope she gets to feeling better. Migraines stink all the butthole. They do. And Lori Meccan or McClosh. There's no C in there, Mo. I know you graduated before No Child Left Behind, but we know where a C is and is not sometimes. Sometimes. So thank you, Debbie D, and congratulations for all of you who became members of the Church of Mo. I will be working on more membership stuff this week because all of my children are are back at school. Back at school. Thank goodness. Praise Jesus. Now I'm just waiting. I'm just hoping I don't get a call that someone, because the stomach flu is going around. I have given everyone 100% grape juice and I don't know, sprayed all the Lysol. We can only hope. Good evening, Frauditor Watch. You must feel the Post took a ride with Ferrera on the preview run of its latest iteration of his Ghost Tour set to launch later this year. To say the car turns heads is a bit of an understatement. You feel like a celebrity just driving it. To see the way people react is just incredible, he said, clearly relishing the moment. I love driving this car. It's so much fun. As you drive, you see the look on people's faces. They lose their S. Just as promised, pedestrians of all stripes stopped what they were doing to gawk as the car rolled by. A traffic cop in Midtown stopped writing a ticket and to belt out Ghostbusters to the tune of the movie theme song by Ray Parker Jr. upon seeing the hearse. Oh, thank you very much for coming over from DUI Guy. I appreciate that. I cannot imagine that bigger creators have seen my stuff and are encouraging people to come over. So that is such a a cool thing for me. And Fraud at Wrangler gifted 5 memberships. I am attempting to be on top of things this Monday. Put a pin in that. I might get a parade one day that I was actually on top of things for a Monday. MC Dilligaff, Trina, Justin Smith, uh, Kim, and Ellis Mitchelson Sturman. Hopefully, I said that right, but if not, I apologize greatly. Duct Tape and Holy Water Productions takes no responsibility for the fact that their host cannot read. Zach, I only drink cold caffeine. I am a lifelong diet pop drinker. I will try to get Miss Yuma back. She is coming back strong. It's Monday. Give me one chance. We have both been Bob Barkered. That better not happen. If you hear that happen, I will be, um look, this shocketh. It might actually literally unalive Mr. Mo if we had the 7th child. It would unalive me perhaps. In people that are much more coordinated than me news, a record-breaking American teen, Ilya Manilin, lands a quadruple axis as he wins first ever world figure skating title. Now, I have never been coordinated, let alone with little blades on ice, but apparently this kid is. I mean, young man. For every other figure skater, landing a quadruple axel lies outside the realms of possibility, attempted but never accomplished by an endless parade of skating greats. For American teenage prodigy Ilya Malininen, why do you need the extra IN? Any hoozle. Though they are simply part of his routine, landing one on Saturday propelled him to his first ever world title after a world breaking performance in the free skate at the World Figure Skating Championship. For some reason, I thought that figure skating would be in winter, but Malin in. Yes, Sal, that's exactly what it is. The 19-year-old who is nicknamed the Quad God was sitting in third place after the short program on Thursday, telling reporters afterwards that he was suffering with the physical and mental challenges in the buildup of these world championships. Then on Saturday, he was drawn last to compete in the free skate and produced a dazzling performance to score 227.79 points. I have no idea. I'm sure there is video film of this. CNN didn't see fit to do that. But look, as a person who falls walking up the stairs, God bless you, sir. And the fact that when my middle daughter is diving and someone sits next to me, and apparently I have the face like I know things. So they'll sit next to me and they're like, "Oh, what's she doing?" And I'm like, "A triple Lutz and a sow cow." And they'll look back at me and say, "That's from skating." And I was like, "Yeah, I know. I have no idea. This face is a lie. I have no idea what's going on half the time." Just in case you needed to know for the Monday, these are things that we need to know. Oh, wait, I had it. Okay, Squid Pro Quo says, "Too long, didn't read for scoring. A great man's score is 100 in short, the 200 in the free." Ah, there you go. I had no idea. They wear really tight things, and they usually are, skating to music I don't care about. Just for us to know things, because I like to give y'all all the information from a true sexologist. Here are 6 signs that you are bad in bed, because we needed more things to feel bad about ourselves. Let's talk about Mr. Tech's 1954 for $5 save for comfy stuff to help stream would suggest a slightly lower. You're right. I do need to work on that. Thank you. We have moved my entire room around, because I was supposed to be getting my own office, but that my house is state of the art 1974 and or 1, and I do believe that it is possible that my entire house was built without, a square guide because there is not a square corner to be found. So when Mr. Mo has to deconstruct or reconstruct things, it is always a much longer project. But thank you. I will definitely work on on things. Let's see. Sexologist, although it's called sex and relational psychotherapist, Miranda Christopher, founder of Therapy Yard UK based counseling service, is sharing 6 signs that you suck in the sack. Again, how do I become an ologist like that? From a shortage of swagger to run of the mill routine, people can't be quote unquote good in bed, relaxed, engaged, and immersed if they feel judged or emotionally unsafe. You lack confidence. Well, yeah, duh. I would suggest having no mirrors in your room because if you ever catch sight of yourself, it's like, oof, oof. Okay, all right. I definitely thought I looked a lot more attractive than that. Just a personal tip. Also, if you don't have 709 children, maybe you can take time to set the mood. I'm sure this has a lot to do with mood setting. So if you're unconfident in yourself, you won't have fun. You're easily distracted. Me. Because then you're thinking like, gosh, I need to do the sheets. And then, oh, where are the children? And that, yeah, you have to be able to immerse yourself in that. But again, mom, mom, what are you doing? Where is dad? Where is dad? Why can't I find dad? Are you there? Is anyone there? Can we eat popsicles? And it's like, doggone it. If you're easily distracted. So, um, the ologist suggest practicing mindfulness. So, try to train the brain to focus on the present. You don't understand. If I focus on the present, there's 900 things that want to jump in. I think I might need to be sedated. You're embarrassed to talk about things with your partner. Oh, come on. Everyone has the weird thing that they want talk all the time with your partner to the point that they want to leave the room. No, I'm just kidding. Don't take any advice from me, you guys. But honestly, having open conversations about what you don't like and what you do like is obviously a good thing. You don't change your routine. Well, look, talk about routines. Yeah, she's clearly never met a mom. What I will say, and this is my only semi advice coming from a general hot mess person. So take it or leave it with 970 pounds of salt, at least for the males out here. It is hard for women to turn off wife or what okay, let's just break it down. Lady in the sheets to freak in the bed kind of thing. It's a little hard to switch those roles, so you have to help with the setup because otherwise you are gonna get wife with lady worrying about laundry and everything else if you don't set the mood. That's all I'm saying. Hot mess, it's a little different. So, setting the mood is important. That's all I'm as a hot mess express, I can only tell you that as personal experience. In other news, a police officer indicted for allegedly failing to investigate a murder suspect, his brother. Well, A, why would he be sent to investigate his brother? That would be a conflict of interest. And B, this is all just stupid enough to be real life in 2024. Uh, a Georgia police officer has been indicted on charges that he deliberately failed to investigate his half brother as a potential suspect. This is in Georgia. I know we're shocked. Uh, DeMarquavius DJ King, Quavius. I did this as best as I could. DJ King, 25, has been indicted on a felony count of violation of oath of office. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation announced Friday. The indictment stems on the result of the investigation launched in February over of last year over King's handling of the investigation into an unaliving of a man named Javarius Reed, who was shot with a freedom seed on May 2021 at the age of 25. So, unfortunately, this man lost his life in a random act of violence, and King had been assigned the case, but according to GBI, he failed to fulfill his obligation as a police investigator. Quote, the investigation shows that King, while employed as an investigator with the Griffin Police Department, discovered that his brother, Damon Beck, was involved in the murder of Reed, the GBI statement said. King failed to properly investigate the murder. A Spalding County grand jury heard evidence on March 20th, and the statement said, and returned an indictment. On March 22nd, King turned himself in and was booked into the Spalding County Jail, according to the GBI. The indictment comes more than a year after concerns were first raised about King's role in the matter. First of all, this is an administrative, this is from the top, this is bad. If they knew, well, he should have had the integrity to tell them, "Hey, this looks like it involves, uh, my family members. I can't be a part of it." Then the heads of, Georgia Griffin Department should have said, "Okay, we'll get another investigator on it." Look, Grady, I roll the dice. I just look at headlines and I read the articles with you. So I always know that I'm setting myself up for free or for failure or awesomeness, but mostly failure. Local NBC affiliate WXIA reported that internal records show King's brother, Damian Beck, was a suspect in Reed's murder, and he didn't tell anyone. Uh, quote, it was determined during the investigation that investigators King brother Damian Beck was involved in the murder. An internal reprimand from November 2021 states, oh, well, I'm glad they got on this really, really quickly. It was only from 2021. Welcome, Crime Spies. If you guys have never seen Crime Spies, she is great. She goes, and she has the best Minnesota accent. So, Awesome Possum, definitely go. Yes, I graduated from the MLS School of Reading Things Goodlier. Oh, dear Lord, that would be terrible. I'd just be like, "And something foreign." I that is not a name. That is the collection of letters. Oh, no, I just like to promote people I know because you have a great channel and you do great things. You get into a lot more of the detail, and I kind of do surfacey funny stories, so if they're looking for more detail in the Scott Peterson case, you're gonna have that coming up. Let's see here. So, I'm glad that they reprimanded him in 2021. Investigator King failed to notify his chain of command that there was a conflict of interest and did not list Damian Beck as a suspect on any documentation. The reprimand said King was in violation of the department policy, and the police department employees have a duty to, quote, not give false or misleading information. Have y'all seen an interrogation? I'm just kidding. Then police chief Michael Yates said at the time that Beck was King's half brother and the two had never lived together, and that King's only wrongdoing was, quote, poor documentation of his casework. WXAI reported Yates was placed on non disciplinary administrative leave in April 2023 and retired shortly after that. So he's still getting all his benefits, you guys. Great. As the GBI investigation was under the way, he resigned from the police department in September. His resignation came after the district attorney's office wrote in September 2023 letter to Griffin city manager Jessica O'Connor that the investigation into King and Yates revealed, quote, policy violations by both men. These violations are egregious enough to have destroyed my office's confidence in both Officer King and Chief Yates to effectively perform their duties. Well, there you go. So they got a police chief out of there too, the letter said, adding that prosecutors could no longer rely on King as a witness. Beck, meanwhile, wasn't apprehended until 2023, at which point he was accused of murder and aggravated assault. He is one of three defendants in the case that is currently being held in the Spalding County Jail on a $150,000 bond or $750,000 bond. Uh, what a dingus. Just what a dingus. Look, I get he's your brother, but he did something ridiculous, so that's enough. If you would like to know the hottest drink to drink at spring break, if you plan to go, join the throng of people in Florida, apparently spring break's hottest shot is the bartender serving a drink along with a slap to the face, and she makes $6,000 a night. You know what? I have missed my calling. I wanna faith heal people and not get charged for assault. This takes punch drunk to a new level. Spring breakers in Fort Lauderdale, Florida are cramming into a local bar for shots and slaps, but it's not a bar fight. To be fair, I'm pretty sure if anyone saw me just in a sports bra, they might not pay as much as 60K or 6K a night for, me to slap them. Also, I wouldn't be giving them mouth shots, that's gross, or that's what it looks like. I also don't run around in a bikini. Bartender Ayana Callis, 26, serves her signature hurricane shots at Backyard Fort Lauderdale for $30 every night of the popular party season. Um, okay. So she hits them in the face again. I've missed my calling in life. I would love to be able to have people pay me to slap them. Allegedly in Minecraft, your your YouTubiness. The specialty shot is a full performance. Spring break revelers take a shot from a glass held in her mouth before getting a picture of water poured on their head and a slap in the face. Um, she insists participants give their consent before being slapped, and she makes sure not to hit them hard. I'm 100% a performer at best, and I'm really good at making it look like I'm slapping them as hard as I can, but I'm absolutely not slapping them as hard as I can, Callis told Axios. Prices vary depending on the alcohol and the intensity of the routine. What in the actual Schnell? She estimates that she sells about 150 to 200 shots a night. The bartender didn't invent the hurricane shot, but the fit server put her own spin on the experience with her acrobatic moves and wrestling style theatrics as her alter ego, Hurricane Ayana. Callis serves shots at the Backyard Fort Lauderdale as a freelancer, buying alcohol from the bar as part of her own entertainment company through which she accepts bookings for private parties. This can't end well. She began serving the slap shots last year and quickly became a hit as college students excitedly paid for the Instagrammable moment and a story to tell the next day on the beach. They think it's entertaining, they think it's fun, they think it's an experience, Callis said. It's really all in good fun. But Hurricane Anna only comes to town for 2 months of spring break. Last spring break, she worked 45 days in a row from 8 PM to 5 AM and racked up $6,000 a night. Y'all, looks like I'm gonna be working out. Yeah, I'm not so sure what goes on at private parties, but, okay. I mean, look, I'm willing to get fit and slap people. Again, hire me. Business in Fort Lauderdale has been booming as loud as the club music in Miami continues its annual crackdown on spring break party scene. So there you go. Mo's new goal in life to become fit enough to sell slap shots. It's a bucket list thing. I know squid pro quo, right? I don't know if it'll play in the Midwest as much. You might be getting maple syrup from New Jersey soon. You got a problem with that? I know. If I go the Courtney Clenny route, I need my dad to be my, manager, and that's just gross. I know, we're all in the wrong job. Why don't we get to slap people for money? I feel like that should be something we get to do. I'm glad you mathed that because I didn't math. I don't math. Welcome to New Jersey, known around the world for Tony Soprano, turnpike toils, chemical plants, and now maple syrup. If a university in the southern part of the state has its way, the sticky, sweet brown stuff will you put on your pancake might one day come from New Jersey. It's part of an effort to use a species of maple tree common to southern New Jersey that only has half as much sugar as the maples of Vermont, the nation's maple syrup capital. The idea is to see if a viable syrup industry can be created in the part of the state better known for casinos and its vast forest of pine tree. Backed by $1 million dollars in grants from the U.S. Department of Agriculture, well, at least it's not seeing if squirrels are, going to be sex attracted because of climate change. Most of our syrup either comes from Vermont or Canada, I believe, but I could be wrong. I could be very wrong. Let's see. The Department of Agriculture, Stockton University is in its fourth year of producing syrup from 300 acres or 120 hectares of maple surrounding it. You should never tell a New Jerseyan it can't be done. Is that the official name for New Jerseyan or New Jersey people? New Jerseyan? I guess I would, yeah, I guess you couldn't call them New Jerseyer. Who knows? Because we live for challenge, said Judith Vogel, a mathematics professor and director of the Stockton Maple Project. There were a lot of obstacles to be overcome in bringing maple syrup production to South Jersey, but the work has been fun and the results have been very sweet. The key to the project is utilizing some of the underdog trees that are not in the same class as the maple or sugar maples typical of Vermont. Although there are some sugar maples in the northern part of New Jersey, Stockton is located in southern New Jersey, about 16 miles or 26 kilometers northwest of Atlantic City, where red maples are more common. Although maple syrup has been made in New Jersey since the state was populated mainly by Native Americans who shared their knowledge with the settlers, no large scale industry took hold, particularly in the state's south. Red maples, like those in Stockton, are not highly sought after because the sugar content is significantly lower, about 1% coming from a red maple from about 2% for a sugar maple. The general rule of thumb is it takes about 40 gallons or 150 liters of sap from a sugar maple of the Vermont variety to make 1 gallon of syrup. For red maples, you need at least 60 gallons of sap because more water needs to be removed to process making the syrup. That's accomplished by using a high pressure membrane okay, so they scienced the hell out of it. All right. Hey, I've watched The Martian. I love sciencing the hell out of stuff. And I am doing great, Flash fan. I hope you are doing well. Uh, Charlie Katzenbach has been making maple syrup for 35 years at her Sweet Sourland Farms in Hopewell, New Jersey, about 80 miles northwest of Stockton. She first started making maple syrup in the 1980s, and New Jersey was a hard sell. No one would buy it. Um, Katzenbach, who advised Stockton on setting up its program, they'd say, I get my syrup from Vermont. This can't be any good at all. But years of perseverance and a growing desire for locally produced food helped carved out a small niche for New Jersey made syrup. In 2022, New Jersey produced 1,817 gallons of syrup worth 800 or $88,000 according to the state agriculture department. Well, there you go. So someday you might get, Tony Soprano syrup. It'll be great. How in the hell did this happen? Police say he got on a plane using a photo of a girl's boarding pass. Now he faces felony charges. Airports, I mean, they take me who has, a limp and wears the holy roller skirts against my will because they're the only thing my leg, and I have to go through the big old, machiny deal. I don't even wear an underwire bra. They still have to touch me all over, and I can't wear my shoes. To whoever made it so I have to take my shoes in the airport, may God, Satan, and all of the demons and the corroditated may you find corroditated trash water all over your feet all the time, because that is just look, I don't walk anywhere barefoot that I can't, you know, test the cleanliness of the floor, but, just no, whoever made it so I have to take off my shoes, you shall be punished one day by God or Jesus. Look, it's happening. I can't. Yeah, that's the worst part of it for me. I'm like, put me through the machine deal, touch me, make sure that I don't have anything hidden in my boobular area, which I wouldn't. I mean, and if it was, it would be snacks. I mean, duh. But, I am okay with all of that. I am not okay with taking off my shoes. I cannot wear socks because of my condition, and having to go barefoot on that corroditated floor, I am just against. I don't fly much, as you can tell. A Texas man is accused of trying to sneak on board a flight by taking a photo of another passenger's boarding pass. Authorities said he was caught because the flight was full and he didn't have a place to sit. Now the man faces felony charges of being a stowaway on an aircraft. Wycliffe Yais Blizzard from George, Texas seems w- y'all. I have just picked out the worst names ever. What I'm going with Wycliffe Eves or Eves and Flurzard. No idea. Of Georgia, Texas was arrested Saturday after boarding a Delta Airlines plane in Salt Lake City for a flight to Austin, Texas, federal prosecutors in Utah said. According to a plane officer's affidavit filed in district court, Wycliffe boarded the plane, opened the door to a storage space for emergency equipment. A flight attendant helped him to the lavatory in front of the plane. After everyone else was boarded, he moved to the lavatory in the back of the plane. When he exited at this point, the plane had started to taxi to the runway. He told a flight attendant that he was in seat 21F, but there was someone already in the seat 21F, a girl traveling alone, and the attendant confirmed she was the ticketed passenger. When the crew searched, his name did not pop up on records for the Austin bound flight or any other Delta flight for that matter, according to the affidavit. The plane returned to the gate where officers were waiting. Well, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So, there you go. I mean, who doesn't wanna try to stow away on a Delta flight to Texas? Let's see here. According to the complaint, a review of surveillance footage from the boarding area showed him taking pictures of several passengers' phones and boarding passes when they weren't looking, then using his phone as a boarding pass to get on the plane. It turned out that a friend gave Wycliffe a buddy pass to fly on Southwest Airlines, but the two previous flights were full, and he was rebooked on a flight later Sunday, according to the police officer. So, he just got tired of waiting and he's like, "I'll just sneak on this plane." I mean, it was a bold move, it didn't work, but, The future is now. A mall demolition crew finds a time capsule in South Carolina. I wonder what the past thinks of now. Demolition crews tearing down a South Carolina mall found a time capsule that is due to be opened in 2023. Forest Acre officials said the demolition crew tearing down the Richmond Mall found a time capsule that was buried when the mall first opened, 2000. That was a crazy year. Writing on the time capsule states that it is due to be open January 20th, 2033. The mall, which it had its last remaining store closed in September 2023, is being torn down to make way for a mixed use development that includes retail space, a brewery, and a city park. City Councilman Stephen Oliver said on social media that the Times capsule will be reburied in the park once it's complete and will remain there until its scheduled opening. Oh gosh, what did 2020 us think was going to happen? I'm sure they thought flying cars, which we still haven't gotten, and I'm still bitter about, as you can tell, because I bring it up. But still, we were told we were going to have flying cars by now, and I would like that to happen. Beware, this is not scare tactics, but this is more like, hey, we get to see northern lights in places that we don't normally. A severe solar storm hitting the Earth may cause the Midwest to see northern lights. I will be outside past 9 o'clock. It will be a banner day. A severe solar storm hit Earth on Sunday, according to the NOOA Space Weather Prediction Center, causing parts of the nation to be able. Well, you publish this later. Wonderful. So that was Sunday. So they published this on Sunday to tell you that Saturday night you could have seen this. Y'all are terrible, just terrible. I I have not seen them. I've seen them on videos. One day, it is my goal to go to, on an Alaskan cruise or just live in Alaska at some point. Uh, o On X, the prediction center said that the coronal mass ejection event arrived Saturday and caused a G4 geomagnetic storm. The center said that strong geomagnetic storms could continue through the rest of Sunday and into Monday. The SWPC warned that the storm could reach up to 3G strength on Saturday. So I have no idea what this means, but apparently we might still be able to see some. Indiana's kind of lower there, but if you are in Canada or anywhere a bit north, you might be able to see them, and that would be so awesome. I will be doing a dramatical reading of this woman's absolute crap fest of a journal that has come out. This woman was all the ridiculous and all of the horrible while putting on this mask that she was the best mom ever and telling you you sucked at life if you didn't do it her way. Well, apparently, Ruby Frankie's ex-husband, soon to be ex-husband, his, interview is coming out. So she is Satan's bride. Ruby Frankie's husband describes wife's bizarre belief as she fell under the thrall of messianic cult leader who had visions of riding a giant lion. It is I'm telling y'all, cults are always about sleeping with someone else's wife. It is always about it. Ruby wanted his wife. She wanted all the wives. Jonestown, David Koresh. I mean, at the bottom of it, it's always about getting someone's wife. Parenting sham artist Ruby Frankie will serve up to 3 decades in prison for abusing her children. I've seen the pictures and I am just that wasn't abuse, that was torture. After the abusive underpinnings of her highly cultivated Mormon mommy blogger persona from the once popular 8 Passengers channel on YouTube finally caught up with her. In August 2024, Frankie's emaciated and wounded son, referred to as E for privacy reasons, escaped the residence where he had been starved and bound with duct tape. The youngest Frankie, a 10-year-old girl referred to as R, was found in a similar condition after the boy found help and the police searched the home. Now, if you listen to the man calling 911, he is just torn up. He is torn up. This little boy, even with it blurred out, I mean, he looked awful. He looked awful and terrible, and he was absolutely torn up. as you would be if you saw a child in this condition. In newly released police audio and video files, Kevin Franke, Frankie's husband, reveals some shocking hindsight warnings and cracks in the facades. Duh. I mean, it's not like you were shocked. Where were you, sir? That's my big question is where the hell were you when your kids were being abused? Where the hell were you? You know that your wife was going into cray cray land with Jody riding a big giant lion like Aslan or like frickin' Putin with his shirt off, and you were like, "Nah, I'll just leave the kids." Yeah, I know moms get priority, but if those were my kids, if I was a dad, I would have fought tooth and nail for my kids. She is abusive. I don't care what you have. This is not right. I would have had evidence. I would have been documenting everything. You just like pieced out. You were like, bye, Felicia, and left those kids alone. And for that, that is unforgivable. You are a dad. You are supposed to be there to protect them and to make sure that mom doesn't go cray cray. Because sometimes moms, we can go a little bit, we get to that point where, we try to take a shower, there's no clean, towels, even though we did all the laundry. We try to go get a drink, there's no clean cups, even though we've done, you know, 8 things of dishes. Moms can snap just a little bit for a hot minute, but just absolutely, where the hell were you? Have you found the pen papers? Kevin Franke asked Washington County investigators in a follow up interview after he had already been ruled out as a suspect. Ruby wrote detailed notes of everything. The ancillary interview was conducted, police said, to ferret out information about the dynamic between Ruby and co defendant Jody Hildebrandt, who is serving the same sentence after both women pled guilty to 4 counts of second degree felony child abuse in December 2023. And I have a video where I go over their sentencing. Look, at least Ruby at least pretends to understand that she needs to take a redemptive arc. Jody is still a meandering thunder cow who cannot understand what she did was wrong. And that's why I will be shaming her to all get out because she is a narcissist, and that's the only way you hurt people like that. Hildebrandt was a wellness warrior. Hildebrandt was a cult leader. TM trademark, not a good one, and founder of Connections Classroom, a human potential movement like a self-help group which Ruby frankly increasingly latched onto as both the image and reality of the happy Frankie family dissolved before the internet's eyes. In a police interview, police expressed some confusion about the leather bound book they were advised to find, and consult saying they do have Ruby Frankie's journal, which covers the relevant dates. These things are going to be so she wouldn't write the stuff she wrote in the pen papers is something she wouldn't write in her journal, Kevin Franke said. The stuff she wrote in the pen papers was not intended to be written or to be read by anyone until God would decree them to be written in scripture for the whole world to see. Oh, Lord Jesus, they're a translated being. This is going to be great. I want to find the pen papers. I need to do a FOIA. This is going to be ridiculous. The term pen papers was how Ruby Franke referred to the writings, Ken Franke said, which spanned hundreds of pages in a notebook roughly 3 inches thick. The papers described visions, trances, and other Hildebrandt-inspired supernatural phenomenon. It's something Jody would not want found, Kevin Franke told the police. I'm sure she wouldn't want me in a wig reading it out loud, but, things are gonna happen. Some things happened, and that's gonna happen. So as soon as I get my little hands on this, journal, it's on because I have a Ruby Franke wig already. In the interview, Kevin Franke said Hildebrandt described the Connections' governing ethos as, quote, if you want to help your child, you have to help yourself first. Then you'll know how to help your child. In the summer or fall of 2019, Kevin Franke was finally convinced to attend his first conference put on by the Hildebrandt Group. He did not like what he found. Quote, "This is absolute craziness," Kevin frankly recalled of his first Connections impression. "It's a bunch of men-hating women that are just looking for excuses to tear down their husbands." Godoy, have you gone to therapy? Welcome to new therapy, people. Have you seen Jody? Even her cats hate her, okay? Eventually, after much prodding from friends, Kevin frankly begrudgingly joined a men's group run by Hildebrandt in January 2020, agreeing to an initial commitment of 3 months. Soon enough, he realized it was an addiction recovery group. I don't belong here, he thought, but he said he was pushed by his friends to remain involved, so he continued on. I went through my obligatory 3 months and I was ready to leave, Frankie told Washington County investigators. And then I got challenged to sit down and have a vulnerable conversation with my wife and ask her how my lustful choices have affected her. And, to me, it was like a loaded question. I thought, I didn't see what I'd done or anything that would constitute any form of abuse or anything like that. Still, he took up the challenge. For 2 hours, Ruby Frankie emotionally shared her thoughts about their marriage. Oh, crap. Dude, you should have taken some booze. I know you're Mormon, but holy crap, 2 hours of that? Look, I'd have been that's a struggle section session. Ew. Issues that came up during this talk were Kevin Frankie's request for smexy time from his wife and for her to wear lingerie. Kevin Frankie said his wife's words touched him, so he stuck with Connections Men's Group and attended weekly meetings. At first, their marriage seemed to be getting better and stronger, Kevin said, but then their entire life got weird. Er. In May 2020, Ruby Frankie posted a YouTube video about their eldest son, Chad, sleeping. So, yeah, this is all going to be covered later. It's getting close to an hour. Mr. Mo has to turn off all the power so he can deconstruct something without getting electrocuted. And I'm supposed to be there to help. So, this is going to be a terrible idea on its face. But just to let you know that I will be going through her journal. These two need to be name and shamed. Look, I don't go after victims because that's gross, but if you'll notice the people that I choose to impersonate or make fun of, they are narcissists. They are people that it's going to hurt them more that someone's making fun of them on the internet than their actual, you know, than their actual sentence. It's going to bother her more that I am making fun of her on the internet. They need to be named and shamed. This is all awful, and I am so sick. Look, every single mom out there is a hot mess. We all have just heap loads. If you are a good mom, you honestly are chock full of the mom guilt. Just every day chock full of the mom guilt. And I hate these influencers that know they are a hot mess on the outside, but then shame other moms for, not being able to, lie convincingly that they're doing great. So, personally, I just don't like them, so I'll make fun of them. But on a greater level, and for my service for humanity, it'll really irritate Jody, and that's kind of what my point is. I hope you all have a wonderful day. I am sending you over to Vices. I do know that later in the day, I think something is going on with Baker for, Karen, Reed, but I'm not quite sure. And I will have to definitely, look at that. I haven't got big into the Jody thing. The Delphi thing has just gone completely off the rails, and I am trying. So this week, I will be trying to set up a time to get, Kara Winicky. She is the lawyer that helped with the, um, motion of or the writ of mandamus, basically how Indiana does their Supreme Court to get the original defense attorneys back on the Richard Allen case. I will be trying to set up an interview with her to go over just the absolute insanity that is the Delphi case right now, because as of right now, the judge is not allowing any media into the building, and if you are found with cell phones and stuff, you can be taken out for the trial. So, it is just all crazy. So I am leaving you with that. Now, as always, when I sign out, I remind you guys to say something nice to yourself. That mean little voice in your head can be really loud sometimes. Say something nice to yourself. Say something nice to others. You know, as always, it's been a rough couple of years, and you never know if you're kind, "Hey, I love your shoes," or "Hey, I love your t-shirt," that they've heard in a long time. So, have a wonderful day, guys, and I will see you tonight. Unless we lose all power and, well, then I'll be Amish. But anywho, bye, guys.